to put on here. Hi, everyone. I'm Sarah DeGroff, and we're here to chat about getting prepared for the doTERRA convention. And this year's 2017, but a lot of things roll over and they're same from year to year. And this will be my, oh gosh, I'm already forgetting if this is my third or my fourth. I'm pretty sure this one's my fourth convention. So I'm super stoked. We've got quite a few people from our team coming, and we have a lot of sister legs that are on this call tonight too. So I want to make sure and cover whatever topics that you guys would need to know for just generally for getting prepared. And I have a cheat sheet to help me with what topics to cover and what to expect and what to pack, things like that. And you can have access to it too. And the link is tinyurl.com/convention prep. And when I upload that to YouTube, I'll put it in the comments there too. It's tinyurl.com/convention prep. And you can add comments to that as well if there's something else that I've forgotten. So doTERRA is the largest essential oil company in the world and has been since 2013. And every year the convention has gotten bigger and bigger. And every year they try to top it and make it more and more and more amazing and more exciting. So how are they going to continue to top it like year after year? So I am super stoked to do this with you guys. The agenda is, the event itself is Thursday, September 7th through Saturday, September 9th. And on the cheat sheet, I have the link where you can view the agenda. And it's around that time every year, early September to the latest I've seen it was getting home around September 20th. So somewhere in there in early September every year. So on Wednesday, registration opens as early as 8 a.m., but some people aren't even flying in until later that day, and that's fine. You will likely need photo ID to get registered at the registration. You'll be given a wristband that you have to leave on for the entire thing, and and your name badge, and the name badge is on a lanyard, and your lanyard has to match your wristband because they split up into two sections so that it's for crowd control. We're too big to have everybody all in one space at the same time. So they have the morning session begins at 9 a.m. Salt Lake City time, and the afternoon session begins at 11 a.m. in Mountain Time. So so the morning session has purple bands, and the afternoon is the green bands. And some people say, well, I've got somebody that I know in the other session, so I'm going to I'll just swap them a lanyard. That's not going to work. Like they make you show your wristband and your name badge. So if you forgot your name badge in your room, you're going to have to go back for it. Like you must have both your wristband and your name badge to get in everything, and they mean it. So don't clip that off. It's one of those that's like the kind they give you at a water park. Don't clip it off until you're ready to go home. Okay. So at registration, you'll also receive your doTERRA backpack, and they do a different color every year, and you'll receive a doTERRA themed notebook and a pen. So unless you're just somebody who really has specialty things that you like, you don't need to bring a notebook with you. You can take your notes in your doTERRA one. This is the one they gave us last year. Ooh, nice spiral bound, and it had dividers that you could move, that you could like unclip them. And no, I'm sorry. That's not true. The one they gave us another time did, though. So it had a couple of dividers, though, and it has a nice pocket in the back where you can keep extra goodies there in the back. So, I mean, they're really nice. So you'll be able to keep your notes from fall tour and then spring tour, and if you attend any other regional events or things like that. So you're really going to love it. And I'll show you last year's backpack, and each one is a little bit different. They put a lot of detail into it, and the insides have a lot of pockets too. But I won't spend much time on it other than to show you it's very, very oil friendly, guys. That's for putting your roller balls in. So it's got a place to put about half a dozen. So you've got your focus oils right there. A place, of course, for your water bottles on both sides. And look, even the back is a doTERRA O, guys. Look how much consideration they put into this. And even on the keychains. So they really put a lot of detail and thought into making these nice for you guys. And so what I would recommend is bring a ribbon or a scarf or, these luggage tags. Have one of those ready with your business card in it or whatnot. Just make sure it's got your contact information. Put a ribbon on it or something to identify it, because if you don't, 30,000 plus other people are going to have the same one. And if it gets sat down either on accident, or, you know, you're leaving it there trying to reserve your space, you're trying to find your friend in a crowd, or, you know, it's going to be mostly really cool, honest people. But if somebody did happen to walk off with it for whatever reason, it's a lot easier to spot if it's got something identifying on it, especially when you are using it to mark your place where you're sitting so that you can get up and go to the restroom and come back or whatnot, to be able to have to be able to see which backpack is yours. And when you first get your notebook, make sure you open it and put your name and your cell number and all of that inside it too, because what if you set that down and it's got all your precious notes in it and everybody else has one just like it? So make sure you've got that in there first thing. And I would also recommend, as an action step, is go inside the back cover at the beginning and start writing an action list, because you're going to have amazing notes. You're going to be overwhelmed with fantastic ideas and all this research and the things you want to tell people when you get home. So jot down your notes inside the back cover of what you want to do immediately when you get home, those really cool inspirations that you get while you're there. And you'll also get a convention booklet at your registration with it has all the information that you need. So it's got a map of Salt Lake City, a map of the buildings that you're going to need to know. It has the complete schedule. It has lists of restaurants in the area and their location within the map, and all the other helpful info that you'll need. So definitely check that out when you first get it. And then you may receive other things too, but that's going to be later after they tell us what the new products are. For instance, after they reveal what the new products are on Thursday, then when you go to the product showcase, they'll scan your name badge and you get one of the new product guide. So you'll be able to see the stuff updated first, but they can't give it to you when you register, or you'd know what all the new stuff was before they reveal it. Okay. So optional for Wednesday is campus tours. Those are sold out. So if you wanted a ticket to it, you'd have to find somebody willing to sell theirs. They're only $10 per pass for those. And they run throughout the day, and it's about maybe a 25-minute bus ride to the doTERRA campus, and then a self-paced tour walking through and seeing all the different facilities. And it's just amazing how they take care of their employees, and it's absolutely gorgeous scenery, and it's a very eco-friendly, very cool, hip type of a workplace environment with fountains and I mean hand-blown glass by local artisans, and a cafe that has like a world-class chef. That's the cafeteria for the campus, that everything is oil, essential oils cooked in it, and a gym that would make you jealous, that all they have to do is swipe their employee card. Like, it's a really, really cool place to be. And they've expanded. I went when it very first opened several years ago, and they were still building. So they've expanded since then, and we'll get to see even more stuff. I don't even know what. And also, if you go to the campus tours, while you're in that area, that's also where the home stores are for your oil tools. And Carolyn says Sarah wants to move to Utah. Well, I can definitely fly there once a year regardless. We'll think about the rest. So where were we? The campus tours. Oh, that's where your oil tools is, and the aroma tools. Now, they have a pop-up right near our convention, so you don't have to drive out there to see their booth. But if you wanted to visit the whole shebang, it's there if you're already there. But normally, any time of the year, if you just happen to be in Salt Lake visiting family or whatever, you could just drive to the doTERRA campus and request a tour on your own. But during convention, since it's so busy, we can't do that. Like, they cannot have any other visitors. So if you're not scheduled for the tour, you can't have one during convention time. Also, on Wednesday is the optional formal event they call Gala. And that is where it's a formal dinner. And then after that, anybody who has qualified to walk the stage and be recognized as diamond or above, so diamond, blue diamond, presidential diamond, and so on, they get to walk the stage, and they have their name called, and they get to walk the purple carpet. And it's approximately, I can't remember exactly, but it's approximately 800 pounds of confetti are thrown at Gala. So it is really fun. So it's a really cool atmosphere to get to hang out with your team, just a very chill environment. And it is kind of one of those black tie optional type of things. You'll see everything from somebody who's dressed in just really actually what you would wear to church on Sunday, or just a nice sundress with pretty dangly earrings and flat sandals, all the way to, you know, men in tuxes, women in ball gowns, cocktail dresses, and a man in for a woman, a suit for a man, or even just like a nice dress shirt with a tie and a sport coat would be okay for a man. And for a woman, I mean, you can get by with almost anything. Because I've seen people who have bought a ticket to Gala last minute, same day, when somebody said, well, I'm selling mine, and they didn't really pack something that they thought they could wear to that. And they wore something like a LuLaRoe dress and just nice sandals with it, you know, so you can get by. But that is probably sold out as well. It's $75 a ticket. It includes that really, really nice meal, all made with essential oil stuff. It's very, very luxe. And several years out of that event, they have given an exclusive oil blend at that gala that you couldn't get anywhere else. And last year they did. And then on Wednesday, at the time of registration from Wednesday morning at 8 a.m. on, the doTERRA marketplace is open. And that is also what we call the swag store. Again, optional, and we'll give you tips for the swag store here in a little bit, but that is the place where you would buy anything doTERRA branded, such as doTERRA t-shirt, doTERRA jacket, ball cap, backpack, all the oil cases, all the things that they showed on Emily Wright's Facebook page a few days ago with the cute branded stuff. That is what they sell at the swag store, and I'll give you hints on that here in a little while. That will be open each day, but that's when it begins to be open. And I'm just going to go chronological first, real quickly touch on what you'll see Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then go back on the things that are just kind of everyday tips. Is that all right? So Thursday, the 2 tracks will be going, one that begins at 9 a.m. What time is that? Mountain, and the other that begins at 11. And it really depends on what time zone they're coming from, because you got people from literally around the world, all these different time zones. So they're both this year in the Salt Palace. In the previous years, they've been in 2 different locations, but the stadium that we had used the past couple of years is still under construction. So it's going to be all in the Salt Palace for the convention itself, and then the product showcase in an adjoining building, and I'm not sure which. So it should be really obvious. And they even have like huge vinyl stickers on the carpet with big arrows that are like, I don't know, like 4 feet by 4 feet. Like you cannot miss it. That shows marketplace this way, you know, convention main room this way. So they're really good about it. And the people in the doTERRA vest are everywhere. Okay. So the good news is they do not dangle you on, you know, forever. They will reveal the new products like pretty much right away. It is so exciting. So you get in there and they'll do some introduction stuff first, of course, and pretty soon they start to tell you one at a time what the new oils are, and the crowd goes wild. And first they'll give you the sourcing story, and maybe you'll cry a little bit because they're going to tell you of the lives that have been changed in this community that didn't even have running water, and doTERRA had to put in wells first to be able to, you know, these people that, I mean, just like whatever, because it just depends on, I don't know what area of the world this is even coming from. That is just an example of what they tell you about vetiver, for instance. So we know we're getting 5 new single oils, and and some of them are multiple years in the making of procuring this. They are rare and precious, and some of these plants were previously only wildcrafted and had not in human history been recorded ever to have been cultivated. So this is why they've been so long in the works to get these particular oils, and from locations around the world that they have not divulged yet. So 5 single oils, 3 blends that are new, and that is all we know. All right. And then Thursday night, included free with your ticket, is a street party from 7 to 9 with a private concert just for doTERRA by Rachel Platten, who is, she's the artist that sings your fight song. And does everybody know fight song? Or at least sort of everybody's nodding. Good. Okay. So that's a fantastic anthem for just powering through hard times and just exciting. So private concert with Rachel Platten. And now last year they had some, just as a tip, last year they had some food trucks at the concert, at the street party, but they were selling desserts only. There were not food trucks selling actual dinner foods. So I would recommend that you eat before you come to the concert. The concert is from 7 to 9 p.m. Salt Lake City time. Okay, so Friday is Heavy Science Day. Get ready to take notes. This is where they bring out the researchers, the science team, the physicians panels, and they're giving all of the best of the research highlights and a lot of the uses for the essential oils that they may have revealed the day before, and how essential oils are being incorporated into healthcare. And they gave us hints at leadership this past spring that this year that was going to be more focused on how essential oils are being integrated into collaborative healthcare. They're going to give more information on that than they ever have before. And then Friday evening from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. is going to be the Guinness Book of World Records attempt for the Healing Hands Foundation and Days for Girls event. I have notes on that here somewhere a little bit further. Now, there are several different time slots for that. Let me just wait till I get there a little bit further there, because I know I copied and pasted that, but I'm gonna get lost. Hold on. I'll just back up. No, I don't know where I put it. Okay, so I know I had some stuff on the Days for Girls event. Okay, well, I don't know where I copied and pasted it, because I know I had the link where you could register for the event, and I don't know where it went. So I'll have to go back in and put that later. Okay, so Days for Girls is a nonprofit organization that helps with education and empowering young girls around the world in developing countries. That this is just so heartbreaking, but in these countries, girls have to drop out of school around 6th or 7th grade as soon as they start getting their menstrual cycles, because they don't have supplies, and it's in impoverished areas that cannot afford disposable supplies. And a lot of these places, even the girls' own mothers don't know why they get cycles. They're told that it's dirty, it's filthy, it's shame. In some places, culturally, they are locked into an area outside of town until their time has passed, and then they're allowed back into society. Some girls just have to sit in one place, and they can't get up at all because they have nowhere. They don't have any collection devices. They don't have any access to things that we have in modern convenience. So, and they don't understand what this has to do with their body and their health, and the fact that they're life givers, and this is part of your healthy, normal body as a woman. So, Healing Hands Foundation is doTERRA's charitable organization that it is a 501c3. So any donations that you make to that are tax deductible. And so they have this ongoing collaboration with Days for Girls, where we put together they're taking donations from anybody who wants to bring the supplies to convention. And they have the sizes listed and what's needed, but washcloths in dark colors, and underwear in certain sizes, and all in dark colors as well. And then they put together these beautiful, attractive packages in a cloth bag that ties, teach them how to take care of themselves, why it's happening, and gets them back in school, so that these girls, they've interviewed these girls to say, look, I wanted to be a doctor, and now I can. So it's really, really changing lives on a foundational level. So they're doing this event, putting together these packages that they give to each girl, and so there are different times that you can register, where if you want to do it, after this session or after that session, that you can do that. Okay, and then on Saturday, they'll have more of whatever I don't know what they covered previously, but typically you'll see some guest speakers, and the keynote speaker is on Saturday. Also, some Healing Hand Foundation updates, probably an update on Operation Underground Railroad that doTERRA has partnered with, that's mission is to stop human slavery and sex trafficking throughout the world. Other humanitarian efforts, as well as they'll reveal the dates for convention next year and other upcoming events. And the keynote speaker this year is a professional speaker and a veteran, Dan Nevins. And So he is, let me just read real quick. A highly decorated soldier, Dan was severely injured during combat in Iraq in 2004 after an improvised explosive device detonated beneath his vehicle. He lost both legs below the knee and lives with a traumatic brain injury and the emotional wounds of war. And Dan credits the Wounded Warrior Project with a successful rehabilitation, which instilled in him a can-do attitude, positive outlook, and passion for helping his fellow wounded warriors. So he's an advocate for improving your life and having a positive attitude, and has a really inspirational story that he'll share with us on Saturday. And then, so the convention kits that everyone has asked about are available after the first session when they reveal what all the new products are. So beginning Thursday at lunchtime, if you want, you can buy a convention kit if you want to. Anybody who attends convention can buy one, but nobody has to. So they will contain one of each of every new oil and product, whatever it is that are revealed as all the new products, plus a 5 ml bottle of birch essential oil for free. And that is a convention exclusive, and attending convention and buying a convention kit is the only way you can get birch. And look it up in your Modern Essentials book and you will see why it is a very coveted oil to have. You would not want to be without that in your first aid kit. So if you were on a serious budget and wanted to know what one thing I would recommend that you buy at convention, it would be this, okay? It is optional to buy, and I would never tell somebody go outside their budget, okay? Typically, it's somewhere around $240 to $300, but we don't know how much it'll be until they tell us on Thursday. And it's usually about $80 to $90 savings below the wholesale price to get it in that box kit. Plus, that's how you get your birch, okay? So you can buy multiple kits if you want. So if you have somebody back home that's going to PayPal you the money and they tell you to go ahead and buy one, you can. You will get OV for it. You will get volume credit for your convention kit purchase, but you will not receive product points for it because it is so steeply discounted. Plus, you're getting your free birch for it. They're pricing it well below wholesale to be able to get it for this. Convention kits will not sell out, okay? So you don't have to rush or be the first in line if there's a really long line. So just go when it's not such a long line for the convention kit. Carolyn asks, can you buy the convention kit without being at convention this year? And would the birch oil be there, or is that just for attendees? Okay, so if you wanted to get it with the birch, you would have to have somebody who's at convention buy it for you there, okay? Usually at Fall Tour, which goes on in the weeks after convention all over North America, they will offer convention kits, but they will not be at the same price as they were at convention, and they will not contain birch. So it'll still be at a discount, but not as steep of a discount. Say $40 below wholesale instead of like $80 to $90 savings, and no birch. Plus, you're getting it immediately, bringing it home. You're getting it in your hands September 7th, as opposed to everybody else has to wait until October to even be able to order it on LRP or anything. All of these new products, everyone else has to wait until October to order. Does that make sense? So if you have somebody you know who's attending convention, you can PayPal them the money if they're willing to put it on their credit card for you or something like that. So, when you're there, they will give you a link up on the screen during that session so that you can just log in on your phone and order it there. And then there's a pickup line. That is faster. Usually that line is a shorter line than the lines of people that don't want to use the link, that just want to go and wait in line and order them that way. So you have that option too. And, so you can buy as many convention kits as you want typically, but you have to pick them up there at convention. You can't just, there's no like doTERRA won't ship it for you. You can ship it, but you have to figure that out on your own. So the options are, there's a post office very close to convention. There's a UPS shipping I don't know what you call it, like a shipping store inside Salt Palace where the convention is. And you can bring it home in your own luggage. Or if you have somebody else that is traveling with you that lives in your area, you can send it home with them if they have a bigger suitcase than you, or if they're driving but you were flying, that's another option. Keep in mind the TSA requirements for liquids if you're flying. We don't know what they'll be giving. So if it's all, mostly essential oils and supplements, you're not going to have trouble getting that home in your quart size bag for you might not even have to check a bag. But whatever year it was, 4 or 5 years ago, they introduced the On Guard laundry detergent. So everybody has this in their kit, and now people that weren't planning on checking a bag have to check a bag or else figure out to just mail it home. Does that make sense? So so just know what their options are. And please do follow the TSA requirements for liquids if you are flying, so that it gives us a good name and a good reputation there at the exit day at the airport, so that they're not saying, oh, good grief, these doTERRA people, and they think that they can, you don't want to be that. So you might be able to fit all of the new liquids in the quart size TSA bag. I just don't know. And it depends on what you pack already, if you're a heavy packer or a light packer. Now, another option is you can separate out the essential oils from the not essential oils of your liquids, and present all of your essential oils through the TSA line as liquid medication. Okay, so you can look at the TSA's website for liquids for that. But you would have to separate it out so that it's not body products, and it's not lotions or shampoos or toothpaste or your face wash, any spa products, that any of those would be in your normal quart size TSA bag. And then just your essential oils you can present as liquid medication. So that is how people fly with their, the big oil cases that you get like from Aroma Tools with the big foam inserts with the holes to be able to put one of every oil. And you're like, how are people flying with that? They are just unzipping that at where they're, going through TSA, through the, x-rays, and presenting that as the whole thing as liquid medication. Does that make sense? So while there's nothing on the TSA website specifically about essential oils, I do know that that is one option that people use for that. So when you're paying for convention kits, you can only pay for them with a card that you have physically with you to swipe. You can't just get permission from somebody back home to say, well, I'll give you my card, and can you just put it on my card? It has to be a card you physically have with you. Okay, Kayla asks, if your oils are checked, it does not matter. That is correct. Anything in a checked bag is not limited for, you just want to make sure it's in something in case it leaked. But amounts don't matter for a checked bag. So that way, some people plan on not checking a bag on the way out, and then just if it ends up being a lot of liquids, well, no big deal. I'll just check a bag going home. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. And you can combine with a roommate if you have that or something like that. Okay, so also, you will be able to see all of the new doTERRA products and see all of the existing product line in the product showcase, which will be set up in the building adjacent to the Salt Palace. Okay, and most of them, they even let you try and sample. They will have these huge displays with alphabetical of every essential oil that we have open, that you can try it. So if there's something you haven't even seen yet, you can see it. And there will be different booths. Some of it will be for the spa line, some will be for the facial care, some will be for this or that supplement, and for the deep blue line, and for different things. And each one manned with a scientist that can answer your questions about that particular product or about those essential oils. So it's really awesome. You're going to want to plan on spending a lot of time going in and out of the product showcase and visiting all the, and they've got, Amanda, we are going to have so much fun with this. And Kayla, it just depends on if your baby will let you. But like they have these, these cute little photo booths where you can, put funny things on it. Okay, so for packing, I pack light, and I plan on not checking a bag. That's just me personally, okay? So I take one of those large carry-on bags that has wheels, but it's the largest size that you can still have as a carry-on, and that's the kind that if it was coming out of a small airport, you'd have to gate check. You follow me? And then I take that and then plan on the doTERRA backpack. Okay. So if you already have several already from attending previous conventions, you can just plan on using another backpack and pack away your other backpack. But it allows you to bring the most stuff home if you're planning on not checking a bag or if you don't check a bag on the way out and then maybe plan on it on the way back. If you're somebody who thinks that you'll probably want to buy more while you're there, buying convention kits for your team back home, or you think you might want to buy other stuff, you can pack your carry-on or other item inside an empty suitcase and check that, and the big one empty, and then you can bring it all back, and the smaller bag can be your carry-on, and then your doTERRA backpack is your other carry-on, and the large suitcase is the checked bag that carries the rest. Now, I don't do that, but if you want to, you can. Does that make sense? Don't overpack on clothes. Carry pieces that don't wrinkle and carry pieces that work with each other. If you're going to be mixing and matching, you can wear shorts or jeans more than once, I promise, and wear different layers, because it's often as hot as more than 80 degrees outdoors in the daytime in Salt Lake City, but then cold in the air conditioning and also crisp at night. It's usually pretty crisp, like walking home from stuff in the evening or outside for the street concert. So there's a broad range of what people wear. Most people are just wearing something nice and casual, like jeans with a doTERRA t-shirt, or shorts or capris, or skirts or a dress. Really almost anything goes, but the most important thing is comfortable shoes for a lot of walking and standing, and that's the number one thing I would emphasize above everything, is comfortable shoes for a lot of walking and standing. Seriously comfortable shoes for walking and standing. So you'll want to pack maybe a lightweight jacket or a hoodie or something that folds up compact that you could keep in the bottom of your backpack, or maybe a lightweight scarf that folds up, because then you can use that as a blanket on the plane, or you could use it if you get chilled in the air conditioning or out at the concert. If you're going to Gala, again, there's a lot of variation in what you'll see there. And really the only ones people pay attention to are the ones that are crossing the stage. And if so, then you have already prepared for that. So let's see here. I already said that one. Oh, and the other benefit of carrying a scarf or a jacket with you during the day is it's really handy for reserving seats. Like if you get in there first, to be able to plop that over and say, okay, we have 7 people that need to sit together, so we're going to plop these over these seats so that it's reserved while they're trying to get through the lines as well. And that's forbidden. You're not allowed to save seats, but everyone does it anyway. And if you have a jacket or a scarf to throw over it, at least it's easier for people to see what's available and what's not. And on that note, be on time and know exactly where you're meeting your people, because getting seats together can be the only time you'll see a very kind of dog eat dog type of atmosphere at convention. That's really the only time you'll see that, is when people are rushing in there at the beginning trying to find a seat together. Okay. So some people have asked about what to eat and when. Some people's hotel includes breakfast, and if it does, you can always grab a bagel or a piece of fruit for a snack later. Just throw it in your backpack. If not, you can, there are several options. Some people pack their breakfast stuff with them, like trim shake powder in Ziploc bags ready for each day, or those instant oatmeals that you can that come in a bowl that it's just a paper bowl you can throw out. There are some that are to eat cold, and others that you can just find out if your room has a microwave first before you commit. So you can pack stuff like that, as well as like protein bars, Lara bars, Cliff bars, like something that's a better quality. Also, some people will find a grocery store once they're there. You can find them even off of the Tracks line and get what you need for quick breakfasts or for quick making sandwiches, or ranch dressing with some basic vegetables or whatever, if you don't want to eat out. But there will also be food trucks sitting out. I don't know what, but I just know in the past they've had Korean and Mexican as options. So if you're gluten-free, it's not too terrible to find some things. There are also a lot of restaurants near there that even if you don't have time to sit and eat because of the line that's there, You can get takeout and grab it to go, whatever it is. And there is fast food as well. It just depends on which, where you're, it's literally a city block in each direction for this building. So it depends on where you are, and your guide that they give you at the beginning of convention will have the maps of all of that. So do find out whether your room has a microwave or a fridge before you make plans, and consider that it's unlikely that unless you have a hotel room that's very, very close, it's unlikely you'll have time to go back to your room all day long. When you leave in the morning for the first session, you are unlikely to go back until that night when you turn in. Okay. So let me see here. Trim shakes. Yeah. If you pack trim shake, it's real easy to just get a milk somewhere along the way and put it in that. Some other things for packing. It's helpful to pack a power strip for plugging in your room at night, because everyone will have all these devices that need charged, especially if you're sharing a room with 3 other people. And you can talk with your roommates and split up the mutual packing responsibilities and discuss who will bring the diffuser, who will bring a flat iron or a curling iron or whatever. Does that make sense? And that'll lighten the load too. And you'll definitely want to pack 1 or more battery pack rechargers for daytime, like the Mophie or similar ones. You might also be able to recharge them in the back of the room if you feel comfortable leaving it there, but it's better if you don't have to recharge during the day. And they do have some recharge booths, or at least they did last year, where if for a $20 tax deductible donation to Healing Hands Foundation, you could leave your phone in a locked, like with the, that they had a marked back there, and recharge your phone. And you got a charged recharger battery for that donation too. Another tip is have your phone cleared of photos so that you have room on it to take pictures and to take videos. And don't forget to try to post Facebook Live for your customers and team members back home when you're together with your team and looking at the products, or just out having lunch together and things like that. But while you're in the sessions, you'll save battery if you turn it to airplane mode, and do that after your team is all seated and together. Because if you turn it to airplane mode before everybody found their seat, then you wouldn't be able to find each other. But then turn it to airplane mode once the sessions start. So you'll save battery, because otherwise it'll be searching for service in this big building that you're not getting great service in. And you'll definitely want to bring your large water bottle. Some people say they prefer the plastic for this just because it saves on weight. But most people say go ahead and go with the glass or stainless steel that you usually use, so you can use your oils with it. And they have, and doTERRA is really good about providing water refilling stations at the convention site. So you can refill it with you all day long, and then fill it again at the end of the day, so you can take it back to your hotel room with the good tasting filtered water instead of having to drink from the faucet. Another idea for packing. Now, I do not recommend spending on business cards. I've never made a dime from having them, but just after a certain amount of time doing this, I kind of felt like maybe you're supposed to have them. So if you already have them, bring them with you, because they're handy to exchange with other cool doTERRA people that you'll meet along the way, so you guys can connect later. If you don't already have them, please don't spend on that. Okay. I know there are some other notes that I typed in here, and I don't think it's saved, so we'll see. Okay, traveling with oils. We talked about that already. Oh, I have the link for the TSA stuff. I guess I'll just put that in 2 places where some of the notes. Most of the time, essential oils are treated just like any other liquid, so you just do it with it as you would with anything else. We already talked about the option is liquid medication. Hold on, let me see. So pack whatever you would normally pack for traveling. Your normal stuff for energy, for focus, for immune system, to be able to fight off whatever from the petri dish of being in planes and in crowds. Your stuff for better sleep, because you're too excited to sleep. It's like the night before Christmas, getting ready for all of this. So some of my favorites that what I keep in my purse with me that I put in my purse immediately after I'm through the TSA with the liquids, On Guard rollerball to use as my hand sanitizer, On Guard beadlets for the petri dish of travel, peppermint rollerball for anxiety and for nausea on a plane, peppermint beadlets for fresh breath and calm tummy, and keeping that for in my purse for whenever. Aroma Touch or basil for ear pressure on planes. Your normal first aid stuff that you would travel with. You can remember if you're tight on space, pack the sample packets like Deep Blue Rub in a sample packet, the On Guard toothpaste in the travel packets. Let me see here. And remember also On Guard Plus soft gels for travel, Digestin soft gels, Serenity soft gels for sleep when you're in a hotel with a bunch of other people that it's unfamiliar and you're on a different time zone. It makes it a lot better for sleeping. And then your Serenity for in your diffuser too. All of your Lifelong Vitality ready to go also. And Terrazyme with each meal. Try Ease for seasonal allergies. Even if you haven't been dealing with it previously, it's good to take it before and during the trip, because unless you're familiar with the climate of Salt Lake City, you don't want to have to deal with that. And some people say that just because it's such a dry climate and plus the elevation, they've dealt with things with, just the sinuses. So that'll help a lot. And remember to pack Mito 2 Max to take at breakfast or lunch every day for extra energy because of all of that excitement, plus with just the different time zone and all of that too. So Kayla asks advice for flying and pressure for the ears. And if he won't nurse. So yeah, obviously if you're nursing a baby, that, if he'll nurse, then fantastic. And a lot of times when they're a little uncomfortable because they're like, we're up early, we're in a place I don't know what is going on, they're more happy to nurse anyway. But if they won't, then Basil or Aroma Touch are great. And you can go ahead and put those in your little travel size ones that you keep in a keychain and keep that ready to rock and roll and use it for yourself too in those areas all around surrounding the ears. And Amanda says lavender works for her too for that. Yes, also a great option. Okay, yeah, so you'll definitely want your Mito 2 Max for extra energy. And let me see here. And you'll definitely want someone in your room to have a diffuser. So decide who's packing one. Plus having a diffuser will help with how dry the air is. I plan on keeping one running in my room at all times, like, while I'm gone, even to try to help because it's so dry at Salt Lake City. So to prevent jet lag and elevation sickness, if you're not already accustomed to the elevation at Salt Lake City, hydrate extra before you leave. That's true of any trip, jet lag in general, but make sure you're drinking extra water and trying to be extra careful about your nutrition in the time before your trip, and hydrate extra during your trip. That's the number one tip that people say. Other things that people report have helped them with both jet lag and with elevation sickness, keeping citrus oils in your water to drink as well as to sniff, keeping your doTERRA lip balm handy for dry lips, balance and peppermint and breathe, past tense and Aroma Touch all have been helpful. People report using Correct X around your nostrils for the dry air. And I guess that's a handy thing for wintertime anywhere if it's, if you're dry at home. And then Mito 2 Max for your energy, and the breathe drops. If you're somebody who kind of struggles to breathe, or the breathe vapor sticks, or just the oil, and then On Guard and peppermint beadlets as well. Well, I found the notes I couldn't find for the Days for Girls program, and the thing where I said, I know I put the link in there where you can click here and register. So there it is. It is in the notes. I think some of this stuff as I was trying to write it, like it just isn't all in the same order. For getting around Salt Lake City, you will have a map once you're already there and registered and have your lanyard. It's helpful once you're in these planning groups on Facebook. You'll see some with the map of downtown Salt Lake City and the Salt Palace, and hopefully where your hotel is too. Make sure you're saving a screenshot of that to your phone, so it'll be handy if you need it. And it'll also be handy to save one of the ones with all the vendor locations too. And you can also screenshot your flight info and the name of your hotel and all that as well. Trax is the electric train system that runs all through Salt Lake City, and it does go all the way to the airport. And in many areas around town, find out whether your hotel is close to it. It's very sufficient. And I think it's either $2.50 or $3 for one way, or $5 for the day, I think is what it is. And if it's within the downtown area, like right around where the Salt Palace is, it is free fare within a certain square radius around there. Square radius, please. Oh, I didn't just say that. Okay, you get the idea though. So Trax it's pretty clean, and it's on time for the most part, and it's a pretty easy way to get around town and affordable. And so do keep in mind how much luggage you're bringing if you're considering whether to take Trax from the airport to your hotel. Like if you have a full-size suitcase, it might be a little bit difficult to wrangle onto the public transport. You can always opt for an Uber or a Lyft, or check and see if your hotel offers a shuttle if you don't want to take the Trax. Also check, I don't know how late it runs. And if you have a flight at a really super early hour getting out on Sunday, I don't know if Trax runs that early or if it runs all 24 hours. That's something to check. So we have quite a few moms coming and that have asked about tips for bringing a baby or a toddler. You'll see a ton of babies here at convention. And doTERRA is a very, very family-friendly place. And you'll see pregnant moms and moms with babies and dads with babies and toddlers and somebody out in the hall walking a toddler, like everywhere. So lap-sitting infants are always welcome at convention. And there are 2 rooms available for parents, either if you just want to be there for comfort or if your baby is getting fidgety and doesn't want to sit anymore. There's a mother's room that no men are allowed in to make it comfortable for those who might want to nurse or might need to pump. And the other room is a family room, and it is available for dads and grandparents as well as mothers. I didn't double check to make sure they had both, but I know they definitely have a mother's room. And the mother's room is large and comfortable, and you do have to register for it. Kayla just mentioned that, and that's correct. So you do need to register ahead if you want to have availability for the mother's room. And it has. Do they have a? Hold on here. And no, yes. Okay, here. So they do have a family room this year as well. That's good to know. And toddlers are allowed to come without a ticket if they lap sit. But at that age, they're usually not super happy. They want to be up, they want to be down, they want to be up, they want to be down. And so it's all live streamed to the mother's room. You will not miss a single thing. And it won't matter if the kids are loud, and it's big enough and carpeted that you can lay down a blanket if you have a crawler or a baby that, that needs to be out for that or just needs to walk or whatever. The couches were leather. They had charging stations either for your phone or for a breast pump. It was very, very comfortable and very nice with a huge screen and loud enough streams so that you won't miss what's going on. So a lot of moms that have young babies are planning on just being in the mother's room for the entire time during the sessions, and you won't miss a thing if you do. So it's a really nice accommodation. So the way to register, if you haven't already, is to email events@doTERRA.com to make sure that that's added to your info. People have asked whether you should bring a baby carrier or a stroller or both. Most people I saw had both, and they used the stroller for hauling all of the stuff and the accessories that you need, and they used a baby carrier for the baby because you're navigating these crowds. And if you can get by without a stroller, that's great. If you have somebody else that'll help you carry stuff, because there are a lot of escalators and just a lot of kind of changing, a lot of people. So that way you're not having to look for ramps or elevators. But it's not the end of the world, and you're carrying so much stuff for the baby, like diapers for all day, and then depending on if they're old enough for toys and food and that kind of things, and then you can keep your own food in it as well. So and one thing to keep in mind too is if you're using the Trax transport, even to get back to your hotel or whatever, you will have to collapse a stroller. And also, you can't bring a stroller into the main event room. They have a stroller parking lot right outside the main room. So if you want to bring baby into the main session, you can, or you can bring baby into the mother's room, either way. But I think it's probably for fire hazard that they don't let them bring strollers in to block the aisles. Okay, so for vendor events that are there, like the different oil accessory vendors, and the continuing ed classes that they offer, some are pre-convention and some are at lunchtime. So at the vendor stuff, it can be a bit like Black Friday. Just have patience. Remember, everybody loves their oils, and just have fun with it. It's a fantastic time. There are more vendors there than you could possibly visit. So if you have some favorites that you definitely want to visit, make sure you make note of that before you go and find where they are going to be on the map, and so that you can make a priority of it, and maybe even jot it in with when you want to go there. They often have really cool freebies, like a free with purchase gift, or giveaways and drawings. I won an $80 diffuser from Stadler Forum last year, just by a drawing for going in and entering and writing my name and address and everything. So you never know. Most vendors will offer a discount if you're buying during convention, or free shipping, one or the other. Usually you have to choose. Do you want a discount off of it and you haul this stuff home, or do you want free shipping? So it's up to you. Now, some might do both. Most you have to choose. And if you're tight on space getting stuff home, or if it's heavy stuff like books, then it's definitely worth it to get free shipping getting it home. Why drag it home if they'll send it home for you, right? So the number one tip I would give you here is select your budget and stick to it. I don't care what your budget is, decide it before you go, because you will see so much stuff, guys. Like, your eyes will be full of shiny things. Like, you will see so many things. It's just, it is amazing. You'll have no idea this stuff even existed. And I say that every year. And so if you go there with just a general plan of, I'll try to be pretty conservative with what I spend, you'll end up saying, Sarah, I'm never going to convention again because now my house is in foreclosure and it's your fault. And you cannot say that nobody warned you. Okay. So you decide your budget. Okay. And then you stick to it, and you decide, like, do you want to definitely try to get a t-shirt while you're there, but you definitely really don't need any more books? You decide, okay? Like, know this ahead, or all of the things are going to be amazing and you're going to want them all. You can also go ahead and get on their mailing lists and see what they're going to have on Black Friday. The planner that I spent $35 on last year that I thought I had to get at convention was 40% off on Black Friday if I had waited. So if you're wanting to know what sells out first, and you're like, well, yeah, but what do I need to get versus what can wait? The apparel at the swag store sells out first, especially if it's something in a certain size, a certain color. They're not going to have that if you go back. The t-shirt that you want, the hat that you want, a jacket in that specific size, if you see something like that you really, really want, grab it now, because if you say, well, I'll look around and come back, it won't be there. Purses tend to sell out. The fancy oil cases, some of those. Just about everything at the swag store will be exclusive to convention. If there's something that doesn't sell out, then they may put that in the back office later, but there's no guarantee. The swag store, that's the one that's owned by doTERRA. It often has long lines even to get in. Like, you have to get in line, and they only let in, like, as soon as 20 people leave, then they let 20 more in. It's nuts. So just try to watch for when it has a lower line, and try to get in line then. And I put the link in here on the cheat sheet, where if you didn't see the video yet, where you can see a preview of some of the cool swag items they're going to bring in. Keep in mind, some vendors have two different checkout lines, one for cash and one for credit or debit. And if you have both on you, you can get in the shorter line. It varies with which place, but sometimes one line has nobody waiting in it if you happen to have the other. Does that make sense for cash or credit? And it's your money, so I won't tell you what to buy or what not to buy. But I encourage you to weigh cost versus benefit on everything, and ask if it's something that is fun that you want, or whether it's something that will help you earn more income. And just be honest about that, and then review your budget. Because that way we're not looking at something that's actually fun but it's not going to make us money. We just need to know we have budgeted for fun or we have budgeted for a business tool. Does that make sense? Because a lot of people will max out their budget on fun or pretty things that will not help you earn more income. Some of those that people tend to get excited about and spend on that generally are not going to earn you more income: tear pads for classes, books, and unless it's like buying in bulk and then people are going to buy off of you when you get home. Supplies for roller balls and samples, display signs, anything you're going to set up at a vendor event. Usually the contacts you're going to make based on your skill and chatting with people and caring about them, not because you bought a new thing. So the continuing education things that you can register for in the cheat sheet, I put the link to it. So there are some that are before and some that are like during lunchtime, like lunch break things. Some are like a product demonstration. So if there was something like a software program or something you wanted to see, check with the manufacturer. They may have a thing. Some of the continuing ed things include lunch, find out ahead. Personally, I've done the lunch and learn things, and then other years I haven't. I've done it both ways. For me personally, I felt like the lunch and learns were information overload. And for me, I felt like I don't do as well going to those at lunch and then like learn all day, and then a lunch session, and then learn all evening, and then straight to bed. But it's up to you. And some people just fly in early to attend some of those and do what works for you. And anyone who attends convention this year has the option at the end of convention to reserve a ticket for next year's convention at a discounted price. And that discounted price is $125, where it's $169 for the full price for convention. And they'll send you an email at a later date to actually pay for that ticket. So it's good to keep that in mind when you're trying to budget out what to spend, that a short time after convention, that if you want that $125 price, that'll be another thing to put on your card. And it's more than the money savings. It also means that you will not have to scramble to hurry and purchase a ticket when they go on sale to the general public next spring, because they tend to sell out quickly, and you don't have to be one of those that's like trying to get on there the minute it opens to try to buy your ticket before they sell. And a couple of tips for when you get home is, Carolyn has a question. What can you buy it if you're not there? If you are not there, you have to wait. And hold on, I pressed the wrong button. If you're not there, you have to wait until next spring to buy your ticket. This is an advantage that they give people as a kind of a reward for coming, to give you a discount. So once you come once, you can get the cheaper price forevermore, and you don't have to wait on it too. So that's always really nice. Does that make sense? So yeah, it'll be available, but it just won't be until later. Okay, so some tips that I would have for you guys for when you get home is, before you go, have either one-on-ones or classes booked before you go, because you'll be on fire and ready to change the world with oils and help everyone. And you're just going to be so excited about it and just ready to help everybody. So you'll be able to hit the ground running if you have those dated before you leave the house. And you'll be busy in those first few days beforehand anyway, so it'll help you. And it takes you always a couple days afterward to get back into the groove. So if you have it set up for when you get back, that'll be perfect. Have a local event on your schedule for when to show your local customers and team members that didn't get to come to convention all the new products that you're bringing home that you got in your convention kit. And be ready to watch for the dates for the fall tour. When it comes across US and Canada, watch to find the one near you so you can promote it and make an event of it and see who you can carpool and how many of your people you can get there. And share the excitement and the highlights from convention with your customers and team members when you get home, so they'll want to come next year, because it is a life-changing event. And I know each of you will be so excited to see it all and will never want to miss it again. So I'm going to see if anybody else has any other questions while it's still recording. Is there anything else that I can answer for you guys about the timeline or anything else about convention? Well, I want to thank you guys. And if anybody asks something later, we can add it to the Google Doc, and that's at tinyurl.com/convention prep. And you'll see the notes that I made for this. Is it good to arrive early before convention starts? That is 100% dependent on your budget. Really nothing else but budget. If you can, come Monday and book a massage for Tuesday, and then a continuing ed thing for Wednesday, and then gala, and then go to stuff Thursday, that's amazing. And I know people who do that. There's a lot of networking stuff that you can do. So budget is the only thing to look at for that, really. Yes, bring rank pins with you, Amanda says. If you have earned a rank pin, make sure you bring it so you can put it on your lanyard. And then sometimes they'll have an extra prize for you if you show it at the recognition desk that you brought your pin with you too. So yeah, they always have, every year they'll have optional things you can attend for after convention. But really, if you had the choice of attending, but it just pulled everything so tight that you couldn't do this if you had to do it again, I would recommend just doing whatever it took to get there, even if it means not buying anything extra. And there are lots of people who are flying in even Wednesday or Wednesday evening and just going in Thursday. Depends on how many time zones you are across, how many hours are you losing or gaining, how well do you do getting up in the morning after that. Are you a morning person? Which, if you have the earlier session or the later session, really, it just depends on you. Does that make sense? Cool. All right. Well, thanks for joining in, everybody. And I can't wait to see you in Salt Lake City.